It's time for our Sunrise Smart Start. We are expecting to hear from police today after a 16-year-old suspect in an attempted fatal carjacking was taken into custody last Friday.
Yeah, that suspect, Anthony Jacobs, turning himself in, accompanied by his mother on Friday. Erica Cost joining us live with what we can expect to learn today. Good morning, Erica.
Good morning, Leah. Well, they'll be revealing more details about this case and also talking and addressing recent upticks of violence and what they're calling a pandemic of lawlessness in our community over the past few months. This carjacking took place about a month ago in the town of Gates on Buell Road in broad daylight. It took the life of 71-year-old Richard Sasha of Irondequoit. The incident, part of a string of violent robberies and carjackings occurring in Monroe County lately. Police had been searching for two 16-year-olds in connection to the event. Jacobs is one of them, and 16-year-old Edgar Tolentino is the other, arrested about a week ago. Both were charged with second-degree murder and pleading not guilty. Police say there have been similar incidents occurring in areas of Greece, Irondequoit, and Webster. They say if you are involved in an incident where you are a victim of a carjacking, to surrender your vehicle right away and call 911. In Gates, Erica Cost, News 8.
All right, Erica, thank you for that. The next court appearance for Jacobs is scheduled for this Thursday.
Well, Rochester police are looking for suspects in a hit and run that sent a person to the hospital. Police responding to Hudson Avenue and Ernst Street around 11 last night. They say a 29-year-old city resident was struck by a silver truck that fled the scene. That pedestrian was taken to the hospital, we're told, with non-life-threatening injuries. The investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information is being asked to call 911.
Applications for the Restaurant Revitalization Fund will open today. The fund makes up to $10 million available to independent restaurants, bars, food trucks, and caterers who were impacted by COVID-19. For more information, visit restaurants.sba.gov.
3 people were killed, 1 critically injured after a shooting at a casino in Oneida, Wisconsin late Saturday night. Police there say the suspect went into the building looking for someone. When he found the person wasn't there, the suspect then opened fire. 2 employees were killed. The gunman was shot and killed by police.
4 people are dead and 25 others injured after a suspected smuggling boat overturned off the coast of San Diego. Emergency crews from multiple agencies responding to the scene. This was Sunday morning. Officials say the boat broke apart after it crashed into the shoreline. About 30 people were thrown into the water. Customs and Border Protection officials say the boat was, quote, severely overcrowded. The investigation into the crash is ongoing.
We are learning more information about the deadly stampede at a festival in Israel that left 45 people dead. U.S. officials now say 6 Americans and 2 legal permanent residents have been confirmed among those who were killed. They say over 100,000 people attended that festival last Thursday. It is still unclear what caused the deadly stampede.
Tornado warnings issued over the weekend are still in effect for some parts of the U.S. Take a look at this incredible cell phone footage of a confirmed large tornado. This is near Yazoo County, Mississippi. It was clocked moving at 35 miles per hour. No injuries, thankfully, have been reported. We were talking about this earlier. I don't know if we would have sat there and taken that video.
Yeah, but it just kept on moving.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's great to see no injuries, and thanks to, of course, probably great forecasting. Getting those warnings out early and understanding what you do when you do get a warning.
Very important.
Yeah, take shelter, right?
Yeah.
Yes, take shelter, get into your basement, lowest part of the floor, and make sure you have your babies with you. This is my son Mason. I took this picture yesterday, and Mason Monday, I figured, why not? I got a good smile out of him in the morning. He's much more smiley in the morning.
That is a terrific photo, my friend.
If that doesn't cheer you up on a Monday morning, I don't know what does.
Oh, yeah. Now, he is a bundle of joy. We'll see whether or not he wakes up. He usually gets up right around this time if he's watching this forecast. A couple of rain showers for the afternoon. I think they move in about 4 or 5 o'clock, so you may miss them if your afternoon commute is later in the day. A hiking forecast, 67. That's not too bad. I bet we see 70s in the Finger Lakes. If you're along Lake Ontario, you're a bit cooler, 40s and 50s. We'll do the bus stop forecast and a last look at your 8-day extended forecast at the end of the show. Mark, Leah.
James, thank you. Time for another check of the roads. Been a pretty good morning so far, at least along the major expressways. 1 accident at this hour, Westmoreland Drive at Mount Hope Avenue in Rochester. $390, $490, as you see here, and $590, running well at last check. To our Family First segment now. We are talking about summer camp. Many of you have already begun registering your kids.
Yeah, the CDC recently issued new guidelines for camps, like recommending both campers and staff wear masks whenever possible. It also recommends campers be separated into pods, and each pod remains 6 feet apart. But those within the same group only need to be 3 feet apart.
We know how to separate, we know how to wash our hands, we know how to, I think the kids all know how to do that now.
It is possible that 2 different camps could have 2 different standards. It's also possible that we may decide that all of our camps are going to have a set of standards.
We did reach out to the YMCA of Greater Rochester, and we're told they're still waiting for guidance from the state before they release their final plans for summer camp. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on that for you.
Indeed. After President Biden's joint address to Congress last week, lawmakers still divided on the proposed spending for the president's infrastructure bill.
Now, Republicans still want to bring down the price tag, but the White House says the cost is necessary to boost the economy. Basil John reports.
Good morning. Republicans criticize the president's ideas, calling them radical, and say he should look to cooperate with Republicans, not alienate them. After President Biden's joint address to Congress, Republicans say they can't back the president's 2 massive spending plans.
When I look at this is a staggering amount of spending, like someone with a new credit card.
On ABC's This Week, Wyoming Senator John Barrasso says traditional infrastructure is the way to go, not free childcare and community college.
Americans understand that with this kind of spending and this kind of borrowing and taxing, everyone is going to get hit in their wallet.
Infrastructure has always been bipartisan.
Ohio Senator Rob Portman told NBC's Meet the Press the Biden administration needs to work with Republicans or else the plan will fail.
I think we can come up with a good bill that's bipartisan and one that actually will survive over time because it'll be more sustainable with Republican and Democrat support.
However, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said the president is focused on his plans.
He has made clear that he believes that permanent increases in spending should be paid for, and I agree.
Yellen pushed back against Republicans' criticism and says this is all for long-term benefits.
There will be a big return. I expect productivity to rise.
The president proposes to spend about $4.5 trillion on infrastructure and social programs combined. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
All right, Basil, thank you so much. The president is also planning to present a $1.8 trillion American Families Plan aimed at domestic priorities like education and child care.
Let's get a look at the GRE Morning Business Report now. AstraZeneca saying revenue topped $7 billion for the first 3 months of the year. The company also says its coronavirus vaccine contributed about $275 million to that number. However, it added it will not make a profit from the shot during the pandemic.
Americans spent $616 billion in March. That's up 4.2%, according to the Commerce Department. Households shelling out money on a slew of goods and services like games, toys, and hobbies. A surge in incomes helped fuel the increase in spending. The government says personal income shot up more than 21%.
All right, pay attention to this one. A recall alert for some hand sanitizers this morning. Several lots of the sensational hand sanitizers from the Black and White collection and Photo Real collection are being recalled after health authorities discovered methanol in them. The items were sold at TJ Maxx and Marshall's. Also on the list are 3 Ulta Beauty collection scented sanitizer sprays.
Yeah, check those bottles. Well, is nighttime mode a no-go? A study at Brigham Young University found no sleep quality boost for those with their smartphone switched to the nighttime feature. But the study did find those who didn't use a phone at all before bed had the best sleep.
All right, we'll take note of that. Here's what some folks might be talking about at the old water cooler this morning. Listen to this. A dog has now been reunited with its owner after being missing for over 8 years.
Wow.
Phoenix, you see Phoenix here, aptly named, was found sleeping in a city resident's garage back in March. Rochester Animal Services discovered the pup was reported stolen back in 2013 using a microchip under its skin. At the time, Phoenix was just 5 months old. Its family moved to Atlanta soon after the dog went missing. The owner's son, who still lives here in Rochester, retrieved the dog over the weekend.
Unbelievable. Huh. You know, the moral of that story, don't give up hope.
Never
8
give
years.
Up. How about that?
It's a different dog after 8 years.
Yeah. Imagine that reunion, though, right?
Much more wise, right? Very cool.
And hopefully trained, right?
Yes. I'm sure it was
Skip that whole
just a
process.
dramatic reunion.
Wow, right, very cool. Well, hey, not bad dog walk forecast this morning. Temperature is pretty comfortable. We're in the 50s across most of the region. 52 in Rochester, Dansville, 51, 50 for Penn Sodus as well. Calm winds out there. We'll watch those temperatures improve for most. If you're in the Finger Lakes, I think you see 70 degrees. If you're along Lake Ontario, you're stuck in the 50s. Bus stop forecast. I have isolated shower for your return home, but if the kiddos get home between 2 and 4 o'clock, they probably get missed. Now we're going to finish up with the 8-day forecast here. Tomorrow, another warm day. I think we hit 70 degrees for most, but could deal with a shower, maybe even a thunderstorm in there as well. Then we turn cooler Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Lows potentially in the 30s, highs in the mid-50s. Mark, Leah?
All right, we'll enjoy the 70 then. For sure.
Let's enjoy the warm weather. I hate to say winter jacket, but we might be close by the end of the week.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching News 8 at Sunrise.
Our next update coming up in about 30 minutes. CBS This Morning is up next on this Monday. Be safe and have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.